Everyone, and welcome to class. And our topic today on civic education is rule of law. And before we talk about the meaning of rule of law, we have to first of all know what is what law. So that laws are regulations that guide human conduct, those things that guide you as a human. You know that if there is no law, that means there is problem, because everybody tends to do whatever he or she desires to do. But if there is law, people will know that, okay, this is something I should do, this is something I should not do, and this is what I'm supposed to work on. Let's now look at the rule of law. So that the concept emphasizes the supremacy of the law. That is, rule of law automatically shows that the law is above everybody in the country or in the state. Whether you are working in a private, whether you are in a private institution or a government institution, whether you are the president, whether you are the governor, the law is above everybody. You see that? He said, rule of law is a principle of governance in which all persons, institutions, and entities, public and private, including state itself, are accountable to law, equally enforced and independently adjudicated, and which are consistent with international human rights norms and standards. Rule of law simply shows that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter the immunity that follows you, there must be law, and everybody must abide by that law. Okay, now let's look at the principles of rule of law. So that according to A.V. Dicey, rule of law contains three principles. We have three principles of rule of law. First is that the supremacy of the law, which states that the law, that means that every citizen must be act according to law, and nobody is above the law, and nobody should be punished except the person has broken the law of the land. It simply emphasizes that even the power of the government is limited. Nobody will say that I am bigger than anybody. Everybody is being equal. All things being equal before the law. Are we together? The next one is equality before the law. Everybody is equal before the law. No matter who you are, no matter whoever you feel you are in a country or in a state, you are binded by the law. I will also have the individual rights and fundamental, which means that human rights are natural and inalienable rights of individual citizens that are not derived from the Constitution are suspended. Citizens are entitled to fundamental human rights. For you to be a citizen of a country according to rule of law, there must be, your fundamental human rights must be respected. So don't forget the three principles of rule of law according to A.V. Dicey: the supremacy of the law, the equality before the law, and individual rights. Okay, let's look at the limitations or hindrances to the rule of law. One is diplomatic immunity. When people are being granted immunity, especially when the president or someone that enters the country, or someone that does something for the country, and then the person is being granted immunity, then it might limit the person from being punished when the person is supposed to be punished. Not that the person is not going to be punished, but limiting that the person is not going to be punished when he or she is supposed to be punished. That is diplomatic immunity. And then you have the immunity of head of state, that I've explained this in class. That is the immunity that is being given to presidents, the governors, and other officials of the government that helps them not to get punished for some laws that they did not obey. Another one is parliamentary. This is for our legislatures and our parliamentary rulers, the immunity that covers them. Delegation, legislation, administrative tribunal, inadequate independence of the judiciary. When the judiciary is not properly independent, then the rule of law can be limited. Immunity of judges. As long as judges are in the court, as long as judges are in their room, they have the immunity. And that immunity makes them, even if they say something bad, even if the judgment they give is not in favor, maybe they did it because they want to gain something from it, they won't be punished for it. Okay, also have state of emergency. When a state of emergency is being declared, some of our fundamental human rights might be denied, like the right to movement. When there is a state of emergency, people are not allowed to move freely the way they wish to move. Also have customs and tradition and type of government in power. All this leads to what? Limitation of rule of law. Now let's look at the importance of rule of law. One is that it makes everyone equal in political system. Yes, everybody becomes equal, because you know that what entails Mr. A is also attributed to Mr. B. So knowing the fact that I will be punished for what I have done, no matter how long I stay away from it. Do you understand? So knowing that we are all equal before the law makes everybody obey the rule of law. Next is that it brings about obedience to the law of the land. Yes, when people know that they are going to be punished for any particular offense, they will always try and obey the law of the land. It also guarantees supremacy of law over citizen. It guarantees, at least, to show that the law is above every citizen. And when the law is above every citizen, everyone acts what? Normal. It guarantees peace and order in society. It enhances protection of citizens' rights, of course. It ensures freedom of the press and association. You know, when there is rule of law, the press are free to report without being gagged. You know what I mean by being gagged is the sense that sometimes our pressmen will not be able to say things the way they are because they are scared of being punished for reporting what they are supposed to report. So in order to be on the safe side, the rule of law also ensures that the freedom of the press and association is being granted. It prevents tyrannical rule, that is autocratic system of government, whereby it is only the heads that says what happens to the people. That is tyranny, being very strict and very wicked to the people he or she is ruling. It guides against illegal or unlawful detention. Where there is rule of law, people cannot be illegally detained or any other thing. It guarantees the rights of the citizen. It promotes separation of power and so many of them. Okay, now let's look at the state of the rule of law. We say that the principles of law emphasizes or places law over and above all persons in the society. That is the state of the rule of law. It places law above every other person in the society. Therefore, in accordance with the rule of law, the state has the responsibility of protecting the rights of an individual. Yes, that is one. Individuals' rights must be protected according to the state of the rule of law. Two, it must apply the rule of law in the adjudication of cases among people in the state. Three, it ensures separation of powers among the organs of government. And four, ensures that government officials and citizens understand that the Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. Do you understand? So the state of the law says that that the rights of people should be protected, and the rule of law must be applied in cases. And also that the separation of power among the tiers of government should be organic. The president should know that this is where to stop, and the governor continues, the Senate president starts, and the local government chairman. That is how it should be done. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for listening to my class. I'll see you next time. Bye.